All right, Nikki.
All right, Trent.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Awesome. So I want to know, what was your favorite part of the trip?
My favorite part of the trip was just the trip as a whole overall. Because the last time I went on a mission trip was 21 years ago. I was 13, so it was a huge difference going to Mexico whenever you're 13 versus going to LA whenever you're 34, because that just it's a whole different dynamics, because you see things differently at 34 versus 13. So just seeing everything the way that I did and being able to serve in a completely different manner on this trip versus the mission trip that I went on, that was probably like one of my most favorite parts, was just being older and going on a mission trip versus being younger and going on a mission trip.
Okay, what about a non-mission trip? What about a fun side? What was your favorite fun part of your trip?
The favorite fun part? There was a lot, to be honest with you. But definitely one of the fun parts was at the In-N-Out Burger close to the airport was getting to watch the airplanes land, because you don't realize exactly how big they are until they're flying over you landing. And my other fun part, I can't remember, so there's that.
What was your favorite part of the trip?
My favorite part of the trip was probably going to Imperial Hots and Watts and handing out watermelons and cookies and stuff like that and snacks to all the people, and then going down Skid Row and meeting all the people like Hollywood and Les and learning how they live down there.
Okay, what about your favorite part that wasn't directly connected with serving on the mission trip?
Probably going to the beach and just walking around on the pier, swimming in the ocean, because I've now swam in all the oceans that touch America or U.S. So it's pretty cool.
What about the hole?
The hole?
Tell us about the hole.
Well, I spent about an hour and a half digging a hole with my bare hands, and I was pretty proud of it. So I was like, and it's cool in there. So I was like, I'll crawl inside this. I crawled inside it. It caved in on me, and I got stuck. That's pretty fun. Thought I was going to die.
Hello.
Hi.
Belle, you went on the LA mission trip.
That I did.
Did you have a lot of fun?
I had a lot of fun.
A lot of fun. What was your favorite part of the mission trip?
My favorite part of the mission trip was in the morning, Trent would have us all go down to the chapel, and we would sit there and we would pray. He would let us do whatever. He would have a little sermon, and then he would have us do whatever we needed to do. He would have us do what felt right for us. He would either have us worship to the music, or pray, or just write, read, whatever felt comfortable for us.
What about non-mission trip part? What's your favorite thing you did for fun in LA?
My favorite thing for fun was probably going to see all the restaurants and getting to see everybody, how they would dress, and how there was just so much diversity, and I thought that was really cool.
The thing I took away most from LA is to be more humble, to be thankful for the opportunities I have here in Cullman, because I feel like there's not many opportunities in LA because they're way more selfish out there than the people in Cullman are. And I want to be humble because most of the people out there are either scraping by barely or they're living on the streets. There's not really in the middle unless you go up to Beverly, and those people are living good.
I'm with you.
Something that I learned during the trip would be that, I'd been told it many times before, that church isn't just confined to a building or being around a certain group of people, and that it's everywhere. But I didn't really process that until the trip. We were preaching to literally anybody and everybody that we could, cashiers or just people on the street. And I thought that was really cool, and that's something that I had never wanted to do before until after that trip. Just watching other people do it, it made me want to do that. You can do it to a neighbor, you can do it to the cash register, you can walk up to a stranger and do it. It is not confined anywhere. Don't limit yourself to where you can preach.
We had a lot of great moments.
Yes, we did.
I want to know one or maybe a couple of your most memorable or funny memories from this incredible trip.
So one of them was definitely the night that we went down Hollywood Boulevard, and there was this girl that was, God love her, she was singing her little heart out. She was not the greatest in the world, but she was out there showing her stuff and just being...
Oh, is she singing? She was singing Beyonce.
I don't remember what she was singing, but she was not that great at what she was singing, and Trent got probably about 10 or 12 of them to stand there and like hold up their cell phones, just shining, and cheered her on, and she was like beaming afterwards, so that was quite comical. And then another night we went to Target because there's no Walmarts out in LA, and there was an escalator, and they went up and down the escalator. I said 14 times. Trent told me it was actually 21, but that was their entertainment after Target. So, because we were killing time because 18 people trying to shop together is impossible. So, and also people can't count from 1 to 18 either, by the way, just an FYI. We'll talk about that later.
No, we won't. All right, what's one funny or memorable story that stands out in your mind?
A funny story that stands out to me was we were in Watts when we were handing out snacks. Me and Will Stallings were working together, and we were walking up the sidewalk, and we saw a tree, and it was a really tall tree, and there was a limb just hanging down. And you know Will, he's a big guy, and he was like, I can't hang from this, but you can. I'm thinking someone like you. You were Belle. And I was like, I'll do it, but I don't know. I don't want to get in trouble. And then the lady that was in charge of our group, she was like, do it. You won't do it. And I was like, okay. I take that as a challenge. I took it personally. So I was like, all right. I grabbed the limb, choked up on it. I went to swing. About a foot broke off of it. And I was like, oh, it's just weak right there. And Will Stallings was like, come on, do it. Show us what you got. And I was like, okay. So I got it. I went back. I loaded up. I took my feet off the ground, and I swung. And no joke, the limb is a 20-foot limb, broke off. And I was parallel to the ground with my back. This is my back. And I fell like that. And I look up. I have a limb laying across my chest. And Will Stallings is looking over me going, you ate it, dude. And then I had to go throw the big tree limb in the dumpster. It was about a 200-yard walk. That wasn't that fun, but it was pretty fun. All the others.
Something cool that I've told Trent about that I wanted to add was it was really neat, like serving with the youth that I had in the nursery whenever they were babies. It's crazy to see them that they're the age that they are now, because some of them are about to be turning 16, which makes me feel really old because it just doesn't seem right that they're that age and they were able to go to LA and serve out there. But it's just so neat to see them and see that they're able to serve and be the hands and feet of Jesus and plant seeds in LA that will be watered years down the road. And it's the impact that they're making coming from a little town in Cullman, Alabama, out in LA. So it was really neat to see them and how they've come along, because, I had them for a couple years and then I don't see them anymore. So it was a lot of fun to get to be with all of them for 7 days and no one kill each other.
I think the people of St. John's need to hear is that to stay humble and be grateful for what you have, and being able to come home to a family and have food and being able to afford stuff.
One thing that the people of St. John's definitely need to hear is to go on a mission trip, whether it's just a one-day mission trip or if it's, a week like what we were. You need to go and get outside of Cullman, because people really don't realize how sheltered we are and how much Cullman is like Mayberry. Going to the other side of the United States and seeing a bigger city and seeing how things are there, it's amazing to see the different dynamics of how the world lives, basically. And if you're afraid about not being able to go because of certain reasons, God is going to take care of you. I can promise you that, because I was afraid to go because Trent asked me less than 2 weeks before if I could go, and I told him I did not know. I would have to pray about it. And then I had a massage client tell me to go and God was going to take care of me, and he definitely has. And the other thing was, whenever I told Trent that, he said, yeah, I knew you were going to go. You just needed to know that you were going to go. So I just say go on the mission trip. If you can do it, go on the mission trip just to see what God can do to your life and for your life.
That church is not confined to a certain space. Don't force yourself outside of your comfort zone to serve God. Go talk to your neighbor. Go talk to anyone. Anybody that's going to listen, or make them listen. Build a relationship with them, and then they're just going to sit there and listen to you ramble. And then that's literally all it takes. Walking up to someone, hey, do you know Jesus' name? And either way, sometimes even if they say yes, they don't actually know. You just have to start talking with them and communicating with people and building connections. No matter where you are, what you're doing, just always try to find that connection.
Thrive in awkwardness.